Oh, it's been so long since I've done this series. I actually forgot a lot of it, not gonna lie. I watched the last video though, so I should be caught up. If I make any mistakes from part 1 or part 2, that's my B. But uh now it's time to get into this. So where did I leave off? All right. I'm not even gonna try to like make a reason. I had awful school and I've been tired after I got home, so I just went straight to bed, and it was already late. So, but right now I'm recording for you guys at like 11 because I love you guys. But you guys probably won't see this video until a little bit, just so I can make like a collection of videos and then get those ready to send out, and then I can just send them out at different times. Because I'm lazy. And then, alright. So, last time on Dragon Ball Z, Deku got told about the sports festival and stuff like that. He's like, he's sort of excited, but he's like, can't really go all out, because that'd be a wash, for one, and for two, secret identity. So Deku, he's just like, oh, cool, we gotta do this festival thing. That's awesome. Uraraka's still pumped. She's like, yeah, come on, everybody, let's do it. Like, come on, give me a hoorah, hoorah, Then she gets to Deku, she's like, come on, let's do this. And, Deku's like, woohoo, he's on that Tokiyamu train, like, yeah, chill out. So, Deku, he's just, oh yeah, I forgot I have fucking, Discord and stuff like that. Speaking of Discord, you should join my Discord, because we have a lot of weirdos there, and I'm pretty sure you guys would fit in. But, yeah, I just like to have a lot more people on my Discord who are active, because a lot of people are on it, but not too many people talk and stuff like that. There are, the general group who always talk and stuff like that, and I love them to death. Nick, I'm gonna give you a shout out this time, and Blanky, and Neko, and Longhand, and other Neko. We also got, we always got the Kages. We basically have the roles set to, like, Naruto standards of, like, Genin, Junin, and stuff like that. And if you're wondering, you're a My Hero channel, why do you have your roles in your Discord set as, Naruto? It's because when I had it set to something else, when I had it set to just be random shit, it was god-awful, alright? There was roles everywhere. We had I'm not even gonna get into it, alright? You'll have to join the Discord, ask about it, and then learn the story of the Class 1A Misfits, because that's what it's called. So, now let's get back to this. So, Deku, he's just like, yeah, chill out, Uraraka's like, alright, she's like, buzzkill, stuff like that. Ida's over there like, we should all be excited, this and that, yada, yada, yada. Deku's like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then, he's like, I'm gonna head home later, and then he walks off. Actually, he doesn't walk off yet, because, he's about to walk out, and then all of a sudden, bam, there's a bunch of people outside the door, and Deku's like, what the actual fuck is going on here? He's like, can I help you all? Like, do you need something? And, freaking Shinso walks out there. I like Shinso, but still, Shinso walks out there, and he's like, Class 1A, scum. So, yeah, he's like, Class 1A, he's like, I just came here to tell your class that if you're not on your A game, we're gonna take your spot. And, Deku immediately just starts walking past him. Shinso's like, are you not taking me seriously? Because, I'm not Class 1A. Deku's like, no, because I plan on bringing my A game, so I don't need this speech. Which is a lie. His A game would decimate everyone. So, Deku, he's just like, yeah, you guys can, like, do all that you want. You can talk beef and stuff like that to them, but you're not affecting me. Because, for one, they're not going to be able to get under Deku's skin for a few reasons. One, Deku isn't a child, alright? He knows, he knows, like, hey, if someone tries to taunt you, you know, he'll most of the time ignore it or just, like, be like, yeah, sure, just catch these hands in, alright? And then, you know, usually people will back down. And for 2, he has all for 1, and he has a different version, but, you know, if, this is kind of spoilers, I guess, but, I mean, it's not really too much, so. One side effect, the drawback of all for 1 is you basically lose emotion, like human emotion and stuff like that, which, in order to make this story work, I did make all for 1 a lot more human than he is in canon, and I made Deku have, like, basically no effect of this, but Deku is very, like, the more quirks he steals, the more kind of, like, emotionless he kind of gets. It's not like at one point he'll be like Sai off of Naruto, like during the fucking beginning of when he first got introduced. He's not gonna be like that. He's gonna just more be like, okay, and then, you know, stuff like that. Like, he'll have less reason to care about stuff. You know, he'll just be just Shikamaru type shit. Which, you know, it isn't a bad thing, but it isn't the greatest thing for Deku, at least. Alright, so, you know, Deku walks away. You know, Shinso's annoyed because he feels like Deku's disrespecting him, which, you know, Deku doesn't see it that way, but, you know, he doesn't care either. So, I'm not even gonna get into the 2 weeks and stuff like that of, like, training, because all he really does is steal hero, vigilante, and villain quirks throughout the fucking whole time. So Deku, he's just like, yeah, I got, like, a bunch more lightning quirks, like, enhancement quirks, fucking, he's gotten, like, strength quirks, barrier quirks, he's gotten all this shit. So he's gotten much stronger during this time, and, you know, crime and vigilantism and hero work has also dropped, because heroes are either dying or losing their quirk, which is worrying All Might. Villains are either dying, mostly dying, losing their quirk, or, you know, just giving up because Deku scared them straight. Which usually they'll just lose their quirk or die, one of those two. Because at this point, Deku doesn't really care, like. So, you know, Deku, he's just been stealing quirks and stuff like that. And, like, All for One's like, I need to have the talk with him, you know. You know, and then, like, not that kind of talk, you nasty freaks, but what's it called? He's like, alright, Kurogiri, bring Izuku over. And, you know, Kurogiri's like, is it time for the talk? And, you know, he's like, yes, it's time for the talk. So, what's it called? Why do I always say that? Fuck. Alright, but, Deku, he gets called in, you know, Deku walks in there, he's like, hey, Dad, what's up? You know, All for One sitting in his chair, he's like, son, there comes a time in my life where I must have a certain discussion with you. And, you know, Deku's like, wait, this isn't, you know, he's like, you know, you're getting to that age. And then Deku's like, stop, alright, no, I don't need this talk, I've already been through it, I already know about it, thank you. But no, he's like, and, you know, All for One's like, what? You know, Deku's like, I don't need the talk right now, I already know about the birds and the bees and all that stuff. And All for One's like, no. He's like, you're getting to that age where you want to gather a bunch of quirks, you know. And then Deku's like, that makes a lot more sense. That makes a lot more sense of why you would call me here, and not just bring, like, a clone to do it for you. You know, All for One's like, I'm not that lazy. And, you know, Deku's like, nah, yeah, you are. So Deku's like, alright, so what's this talk about? He's like, you've been growing at, like, a rapid rate, and it's amazing. I'm honestly amazed by you, the way your quirk functions compared to mine, because, like, his quirk combines the quirks, like, perfectly, to where All for One's is, like, his like, the quirks can still, like, one quirk can still, like, work against the other if he's not, like, specific with it. But like, Deku's quirk takes only the good aspects of the quirks and incorporates it with other quirks. That's what makes Deku stronger than All For One. He's like all for all or something. I don't know. But no, this is what if Deku had All For One. So it's not exactly like it, because it wouldn't make sense for Deku to have the exact same fucking quirk. But you know, Deku, he's just like, so what are you trying to say? Deku, you know, All For One's like, how do I put this? Your quirk is amazing in a lot of ways. It has a lot of amazing abilities. It can work with you in a lot of ways. But there are drawbacks. Just to anything, there's drawbacks no matter what. You know, things will overheat, things will, you know, overwork, things will eventually break. Everything has a drawback to it. And, you know, same thing goes for quirks. And Deku's like, yeah, but like, my quirk is taking quirks. What could be the drawback of that? Like, do I get arrested and fined? Like, you know. And then All For One's like, no, you slowly over time lose your emotion. Like, you know. And then Deku's like, what do you mean? He's like, so when I met your mother, I had a lot of quirks. I still do. I had a lot of quirks. But what's it called? But slowly over time I gained many more quirks afterwards. And my feelings, I love your mother to death still. But the amount of like it's like a weird way of he's explaining. He's like if she asked me to do something, it wouldn't be as urgent as if I had like the amount of quirks as when we were first married. It's because it's not like he doesn't care enough out of like, oh, it's been forever, why would I care now? It's because it's an involuntary, like, you know, mental thing. So he has like no choice over it. So he's like, my issue was I was too eager. I stole too many quirks at once and stuff like that. So, you know, Deku's like, so what, are you going to limit, like, the amount of quirks I can steal? What's going on? And then All For One's like, yes, I am. I'm going to make sure that you can only steal 2 quirks per week. Like, or actually, not even per week. That'd still be too much. 2 quirks per month, right? And then Deku, he's like, wait, what? Like, 2 quirks per month? You know, Deku can get 2 quirks in a day. Like, at least he can get 2 quirks in a day if he's really not trying. And he's like, but like, my growth will like plummet. And then All For One's like, no. What I want you to do, instead of go for stealing more quirks, learn more about your quirks. You have so many amazing quirks that you probably don't even realize that you can combine into something much better. And, you know, he's like, we'll say that Deku was like stealing quirks a bunch for the first week, and he still has another week left. So he's like, for this week that you're going to be, you know, getting ready for your little festival and stuff like that. And Deku's like, are you gonna attack that, by the way? He's like, no, we're not gonna attack the festival. That'd be rude. It's your time to shine. We'll be looking for new recruits though. And then Deku's like, you probably won't get anyone, but good luck. You know, All For One, like, thank you, and stuff like that. So, Deku, he's just like, alright, so what exactly, you know, do you want me to do in that time? He's like, I want you to visualize your quirks, and then just start combining them, mixing and matching them, and seeing which ones fit best, and which ones don't, and which ones just, you know, aren't really working with anything. And, you know, Deku's like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, you might have, like, a flying quirk. But, like, if you have a flying quirk, then why would you need a air walking quirk? Like, that kind of thing. And then Deku's like, huh. That makes sense. Like, you know, like, yeah, you know, why would you need to have a quirk that lets you walk on air if you could just fly? Because flying sounds like it's a lot more easier than walking on air. Like, you know, but Deku, you know, All For One does have a walk-on air quirk, and so does Deku, but neither of them has a flight quirk because I don't feel like giving them a flight quirk if they already have a teleportation quirk. So, you know, plus, I also have stuff planned. So Deku's like, alright, so you want me to just start combining quirks, see what works, see what doesn't, and then what do you want me to do with the quirks that don't work? And then Deku's like, and everyone's like, I want you to go to this place. He gives Deku an address. He's like, for the quirks that you think are good, but you don't need and don't work with anything that you have, give it to the people here. Deku's like, are these villains? He's like, no. These are quirkless orphans. Deku's like, what? He's like, yeah. As someone who was quirkless most of their life, that being quirkless is awful. And you're lucky that your mother was a great person and that I am your father. And Deku's like, what do you mean? He's like, these children have been abandoned for not having a gift that we have. So Deku's like, oh, okay. He's like, alright, yeah, I'm agreeing with this. I'm good with this, yeah. Deku's like, even if like they don't use the quirks, the fact that they have quirks will definitely be a lot better than the fact that they don't. Especially like even if like they don't become heroes or villains or vigilantes and have nothing to do with using their quirk, having a quirk in the My Hero universe is much better for you in the long terms. Plus, having Deku just steal a bunch of quirks and not do anything with certain quirks, it just puts other quirks to waste. Yeah, All For One can't really transfer quirks like that. Like, your body has to be able to accept the quirk. But I'm just gonna say that Deku has more of an acceptance percentage than All For One. Just because evolution, that's how that works. So after that, Deku goes home. He's like, hey mom, I was, just hanging out with friends again. Inko's like, I'm happy that you have friends. And she's like, do you have a girlfriend? Deku's like, girlfriend? Nah, I'm not that popular with the ladies, as Toga also wants Deku, but that ship isn't happening in this one, sadly. Sorry. I do have a what if that I might do a Toga ship with you. You'll just have to watch out for that what if. But yeah. But Deku, he gets home. Toga, not Toga, fuck. Alright. Inko, she's just like, oh hey, how's school, yada yada yada. Not how's school, but how's, stuff going, how's your trading, yada yada yada. Deku, he's just like, yeah, it's going good, this, that. He's talking to his mom, he's showing that he cares and stuff like that. He's being nice to Mama Inko because, his dad is scary as hell. But she's like, yeah, what's it called? Your father said that he would come and just watch the sports festival with you, which Deku was not informed of. So Deku's like, oh, Dad's gonna be at the festival? He didn't tell me, when he called or anything like that. He's like, oh yeah, he wanted me to tell you this and that. Deku's like, it's probably gonna be a clone. No way, he's coming himself. Yada yada yada. So Deku, we'll time skip. It's the day of the sports festival. Deku, he's like, he walks into school. They're like, alright, change into your outfits. He changes, and then, they go into the big arena area. Midnight's like, hello everybody, and welcome to the sports festival. And, everybody's going wild and stuff like that. And, Kaminari and Kirishima are commenting that, Midnight should wear a less revealing outfit. Well, mostly Kirishima. I don't remember what Kaminari said. I think Kaminari also said something along those lines, which is surprising for Kaminari. But, Kirishima basically said, that stuff. And then after that, they're like, Class 1A representative. I forgot who I made this, so I'm going to say it was Deku. So Deku walks up, and then, he looks around. He sees his mom. He's like, oh, he waves at her. And then he looks next to her, and he sees a white-haired man who looks a lot like him. And he's like, oh, because that's his dad. He knows what his dad looks like. We don't, but, he's like, oh. He's like, he doesn't know if that's a clone or not, so he checks like the quirks basically, and long behold, this is All For One in the flesh. So Deku, Papa Deku is watching this, so Deku's about to be on his A game. Deku's like, he touches the mic a bit. He's like, testing, hello? Alright. He basically is like, I have people who are watching right now, who are rooting for me, who I refuse to let down. If you want to try to make me, lose, you better bring your fucking A game, And if you're not gonna bring your A game, then already just taste my dust, alright? And then, he lets go of the mic and he walks down. And, everybody's silent, right? And then you just hear clapping, right? Just one person clapping. And all you hear is, "That's my boy!" That's All For One in the background, like, "That's my boy!" All Might's like, "I recognize that voice. Sounds familiar." Deku's like, "Yeah, that's yada yada yada." But, alright, in actual seriousness, everybody claps, yada yada yada, because they just do that. Some people think, oh wow, this kid's pretentious, this and that. So then it's like in the starting line, and it goes like 3, 2, 1, run, because I know you all know what the running is. Deku immediately just bolts, like, he covers his body in like black and red lightning, and he bolts. I'm pretty sure I made his lightning that color. So he bolts, he goes past everybody. He fucking, he gets to like the robots, and like he just passes them. He doesn't even touch them. He's like wasting my time. He looks like the Red Death Flash. I'm pretty sure that was the Red Death. The Batman Flash, right? Or just Reverse Flash. If you want to use like Reverse Flash, you can use him too. So they just ran past all that. Now he gets to like the fucking the trapeze wire or whatever the hell you call it. He just jumps, like he doesn't even give it the time of day. He just jumps. Shigaraki, she's watching, like, because Shigaraki's a female in this, what if? Yeah. So, I'm going to call her Shiggy, because it would just makes it sound less weird if I say Shigaraki. So Shiggy, she's watching, she's like, oh my god, this is a cakewalk for him, easy stuff, right? So Deku immediately, he's jumping it, and like Todoroki and them, like, Todoroki's like still is at the robots. Like, Todoroki's like, fuck. Like, he's hating life right now. We'll say that Bakugo is, like, not too far, but not too close either because of One For All. But, like, Deku has a speed advantage, like, by a lot. Which, yeah, Deku just immediately bolts past. He gets first place. Bakugo second. And then, Todoroki third, which, if you don't know, Bakugo has One For All, because I thought it'd be interesting. Definitely had some surprises along the way. So Deku and all them, they're like, alright, they're just like, Deku makes it first. Everyone shows up. The 10 million points gets dropped on Deku's head. Nobody wants to team with Deku, because for one, Deku doesn't really have friends like that in school. I mean, like, at best, maybe like Tokoyami, because Tokoyami just didn't even know Deku in canon, but still was willing to team. Mei as well, but she might think that he's already good enough, so her babies wouldn't be, shown on how good they are, so she'd probably go for like second place team. Even then, she still probably wouldn't pick Deku. Actually, we'll say that Mei, Tokoyami, I have to pick people who are actually in, like, the thing. Momo, do I want to say Momo? We'll just say for plot's sake, they have the same team. Like, I'm sorry if you want different teams. I don't have a piece of paper. I can't write down the team lists and stuff like that over what the hell happens. So yeah, forgive my laziness. They still have the same teams, and honestly, with Deku having like enhancements and lightning, I don't see it going too different from canon, other than like Deku not getting the 1 million points token or the 10 million points token, because for one, he doesn't break his fingers whenever he uses his like lightning, and he can't really use it to like as a run unless he's like the horse, which I still like. Just to buff him down a bit, I think that it would do like, you know, friendly fire. So he has to be careful. He has to point it in like, you know, blast instead of like all around his body like he usually does. So, you know, he'll just like blast at random people instead, and like sometimes he'll do like a sprint, which will make him go faster, along with Mei Hatsume's devices. And secretly in his foot, he uses a tech boost quirk to make her, you know, tech look better, which Mei didn't think her tech could be this good. She knew her babies were amazing, but she didn't know they were this amazing, which, you know, Deku's like, yeah, I guess you're just that awesome. So, you know, that happens. They get first place. Sorry if I'm just speeding through it. It's late. I'm kind of tired. And then now for what everyone's been waiting for, the 1v1s. Oh, let's get into this. So first match, Deku v Shinso. Oh, how do I want to do this? So Deku, he could have a quirk that nullifies Shinso's power. He could have a quirk that tells him what Shinso's power is. There's so many things that Deku could do, because I've made it to where Deku just automatically has most quirks, which honestly I don't regret, because I don't like how people give Deku all for one but only give him like a few quirks. Like, if you're gonna give Deku all for one, give him all for one, not like in like 9's quirk but with 27 instead of like 9. I don't know. I've just came up with a random number. Like, don't just give him 9's quirk to where he only has 9 quirks throughout the entire series. Give him the max, alright? Give him what we all need. So Deku, he just like immediately knows what Shinso's doing, because he has a quirk for that. He has a danger in sensing quirk. He has all that shit. So it's basically like, hey, you talk, you lose, so just kick his ass. So Deku rushes him, kicks him immediately. Shinso's KO'd. After that, it's Deku versus Todoroki, I'm pretty sure, right? Todoroki fought... Yeah, I think it's Todoroki, right? Right? Yeah, it's Todoroki, then it's Ida, and then it's Bakugo, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So Todoroki, so he fights against Todoroki. They're having this long, drawn-out battle. Deku's like, ooh, what a waste of a good quirk. Like, that's what he's thinking in his head, but he's like, why don't you use your fire side? Todoroki's like, because I won't use my father's side, you know, emo stuff. So Deku's like, but it's not your father's side, it's your quirk, you know, which Todoroki, because he didn't say it in the it's your quirk way. Todoroki's thinking about it, but not like in the oh my god, you know, anime moment type shit. So he's like, you have a point, I guess. You know, Deku, he's like, I mean, you have like half Hell Flame, but you also have half ice. It's not just Hell Flame. It's half hot, not half Hell Flame. It's half hot, half cold, not half Hell Flame, half cold. I mean, yeah, it's Hell Flame. It's like just like Endeavor's, but like, for one, he doesn't use it nearly as efficiently as Endeavor, which Deku comments on, which Shoto's like, true. He's like, wouldn't you feel better, like, being better than your dad than, like, just using one half of your quirk and still not nearly measuring up to him? You know, Todoroki's like, what do you mean? I could beat my old man. And then, like, Deku's like, That's bullshit, and we both know it. You know, because Deku knows like Endeavor, like even though like Endeavor's number 2 and all that stuff, Endeavor big strong. Alright, you gotta put some respect on his name sometimes. Alright, even if I do clown Endeavor, sometimes you gotta put some respect on his name. Endeavor is a number 2 hero. Alright, he knows how to use his quirk. He's mastered it to the best of his abilities. That's what you gotta respect about Endeavor, because he kept up with All Might, even though All Might had the most broken quirk ever, other than All for One. But Deku, then, you know, he's like, don't you think it would be better to beat your dad not only with your ice, but also with his own, like, with, as you would say, his own power, but your own flames? And then, you know, Todoroki's like, damn, that does sound better. You know, the reason why I'm doing this instead of, like, the whole, it's your power thing, it's because Deku isn't, like, canon Deku a lot. Like, at all, really. I mean, like, he is like him. He is kind-hearted. He does have a hero's spirit and stuff like that. But the thing is, he has features of All for One that can be, like, you know, if you realize it, then it can be kind of alarming. Deku can be manipulative. Deku can, you know, he can also be very cunning, very sneaky, very, like, thinking ahead. Because All for One, he is, in all words, a genius. Which, I don't know who's smarter between him or Nezu, which both people are honestly not the best smart person, because they both make very, very dumb mistakes. But, you know, they're both living beings who make mistakes. I can't say anything, like, you know, because no matter how smart you are, you're gonna make mistakes. It's just the amount of size of mistakes is what makes it matter. So, you know, Deku, you know, he's just like, I mean, like, wouldn't it be better to be your own father with his own power, as you would say, or with your own flames, show him that you're better than him in every single aspect? And, you know, Todoroki's like, this guy brings up a point. Like, you know, he's like, I would like to be better than my dad in everything. Like, even if it involves my flame. Because, like, yeah, like, he realizes, like, because Deku also did explain, like, hey, it is your flame, not his. So don't you want to be better with him using not only your flame, but your ice? Proving that you're the greatest Todoroki there ever was, except for Dabi. Which, you know, Dabi and them are just watching, and Dabi is enjoying this moment, because, well, actually, yeah, we'll say that Dabi's enjoying this moment. I don't want to get into spoilers, but there's so many things. I mean, I think everyone knows, right? Like, come on, it's literally it blew up. Like, I didn't even say anything about it, like, but it blew up. Come on, it literally was like a day after my Scarecrow What If too. But it blew up, and if you know, you know. If you don't know, then what rock do you live under? But, after that, you know, Deku just is like, alright, now let's fight. You know, show me what you got. You know, icy hot. You know, he's like, yeah, whatever you say, you know, Pikachu or some shit, I don't know. No, Pikachu would only work for Denki. Just Spark Plug. Fucking walking charger. I'm lazy, I'm tired, and I can't think of a roast. Alright? So, you know, he just calls him Spark Plug. You know, Deku's like, yeah, whatever. He charges up his electricity. And Todoroki charges up his lukewarm, icy hot. Ooh, so smooth move. Cementos does make the walls. You know, there's a clash of beams. Dragon Ball Z shit happens. Deku goes father-son mode with All for One. No, but All for One, like, you know, we'll for ambience effect, All for One gets up. He's like, Deku, or, you know, he's like, Izuku, do it now. And, you know, Izuku's like, ah. And then, you know, he overpowers Todoroki's blast, which, you know, means that Deku wins the match. Then it's Deku versus Ida. Okay, let's get into Bakugo versus Deku. So, Bakugo, as we all know, has one for all in this. He is the next successor, which I don't know if I did this already, which if I did, then sorry. If I didn't, then guess what? I'm doing it again, or I'm doing it now. So basically, as soon as like Deku and Bakugo's fight is about to start, like it's like this is about to be fun, you know, because this is lifetimes worth of bullying about to get paid back, right? So as soon as like midnight says go, Deku and Bakugo rush each other. They each throw a punch and they exchange, you know, blows. So Bakugo hits Deku in the face. Deku hits Bakugo in the face. But at that very moment, bam! Deku, like, he's like, where the hell am I? He looks around, he's in this dark void. You know, he sees 6 shadowy figures, and then, you know, he's like, what the fuck? You know, they're looking at him, and they're like, you know, what the hell are you doing here? Why are you here? You know, they're angry, right? They're big angry. But then, one figure who stands like behind them all just walks up, and he's like, so you're my nephew. Deku's like, huh? Which, actually, now that I think about it, I think that I have done this. But too bad, I'm doing it again, right? Because I feel like it'd be a great moment. So Deku's like, huh? What do you mean, nephew? You know, at that moment, someone else shows up who nobody inside of, who not even Deku expected to see right in there. It's dear old Daddy All For One, which there's some tension in the air. And if you're wondering, how did All For One show up? All For One showed up either. Actually, no, he wouldn't show up through Deku. He showed up through One For All. And if you're questioning, how the hell did All For One show up through One For All? Because if you think about it, technically, the second actual user of One For All, or of the stockpile quirk, was All For One. Alright, but he transferred it to his brother. So technically, All For One is inside of One For All. Thank you. Have a great day. Alright. But, you know, All For One, you know, he emerges out of his own brother, which, you know, shocks his brother and shocks the users. You know, he walks over to Izuku. He's like, yeah, yeah. You know, he's like, this is my brother. And then, you know, I forgot what his brother's name. His brother's name was Tomura. I know that his brother's name was Tomura because he was named after Shigaraki was named after him, which I guess is spoilers, but, you know, if you consider that big spoilers, fuck you, right? But, you know, he's like, yeah, this is my brother, Tomura. You know, he was like, oh, nice to meet you, Tomura. And, you know, Tomura, he's a bit hesitant, but, you know, he's like, nice to meet you too, Izuku. So he's like, so tell me about yourself. Tell me about you. Who are you? Deku was like, my name's Izuku Midoriya. I'm currently in a relationship with a girl. And then, you know, he says, I'm pretty sure it'd be Tenko Shimura? I forgot. Yeah, Tenko Shimura. You know, one of the figures is like, hold up, wait, what? You know, Nani, nigga, the fuck? You know, she steps out and she's like, you dating a Shimura? And, you know, All For One laughs like, you know, she's like, you know, basically this figure grabs All For One, and All For One's like, bitch, like, you know, that's what he's thinking in his head. But he's like, alright, you know, I'm gonna be respectful, alright, for once. You know, he's like, what is it? He's like, what the hell you? She's like, what the hell you do? You know, All For One explains that he picked up, you know, Tenko. And, you know, if you don't know this origin, then stop. Alright, why are you watching this? Watch My Hero, right? So he's like, yeah, I picked up Tenko. And then after I picked up Tenko, I took her in, you know, gave her a home, raised her as my own. And she's like, what about Tango's family? And then like All For One looked her dead in the eyes, because All For One isn't like normal looking for him. And he looked her dead in the eyes, like Tango killed them on accident. You know, if you didn't know that, yeah. This fucking series is gonna be full of spoilers. All right, spoilers about the future, spoilers about One For All, spoilers about All For One. All right, so if you don't like this, if you don't like spoilers, I'm sorry, but like you should have expected it. Like, don't harass me about it. But basically, like, Nana, she's like, so what do you mean, like, she killed them? And, you know, basically, water break. Because I've been talking for a little bit. Someone in my comments a few days ago or like a week ago, I checked it. Someone's like, bro, don't eat while you freaking record. It's disgusting. And I laughed so hard watching that. Oh, I was laughing my ass off. It was the funniest shit ever. And then I said some shit and be like, next time we'll get like Cheetos or some shit. I don't know what the fuck I said. But it was funny. I remember laughing for a little while about that. But, yeah, I'm gonna drink if I want to drink. Alright, I get thirsty. You try talking for an hour straight to your phone. Alright? Exactly. So, after that, Deku, he's just like... So he's like, yeah, I'm dating her. If you have an issue with that, kiss my ass. Like, he says it exactly like that, you know, All For One chuckles. Freaking, you know... Tomura, he looks at him, he's like, you know, he gets that from you, right? You know, he's like, oh, excuse me, actually, alright, you were just as bad. Alright, you just had the moral high ground, alright, Mr., you know, like, you know, they're, even though they, you know, they got beef, I guess, but they're still brothers, which, in the end, brothers outweigh beef. Don't be getting me wrong though, like, the other One For All users wanna just jump Deku and All For One right now. But you know, they being respectful because the first user is here, and basically this is like a family reunion, and plus Nana is like, that's my grandbaby's boyfriend, so can't really do too much. Can't really hate him. I mean, he didn't do shit to me. It was the dad, sin of the father. You can't. Yeah, that, I don't know exactly what that means, but you know, Deku's like, yeah, so I got a fight to get back to. It's been really fun having this family meetup. He points at the other 5. He's like, you guys, you don't like me, and honestly, the feeling's mutual. Alright, don't hate me. Alright, so fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. Later, you know, he dips. Which, you know, he's just walking in the void, and then he gets kicked out of One For All, and Deku, basically, Bakugo and Deku got sent back by that punch. Deku caught himself, and All For One, basically, from the outside, he gets the feeling that happened, and then, like, he looks at Deku's quirks, and, like, he can feel more of All For One within Deku. Which means that, like, the piece of All For One that was in One For All basically went back to Deku. So, yeah, Deku now has more All For One, which is a good or bad thing. You will decide if you want. So after that, Deku, he's just like, alright, come on, Sparkplug, Sparky, let's do this. And then, you know, Bakugo powers up One For All. Deku powers up Lightning, you know, they start going at it, right? Deku, he's like, you know, they throwing jabs, throwing punches, right? And then at one point, Deku, he just vanishes from Bakugo's vision, right? Bakugo's looking around, right? He turns, and then just out of nowhere, he just hears a slap on the ground, right? You know, he looks down, he sees Deku, like, down low, and then he gets RKO'd, like, just... Alright, I don't know why. I've had this obsession with Randy Orton recently and RKOs. Yeah, but he gets RKO'd, like, hard. Like, mega hard. Like, it's bad. And, you know, Deku's like, I always wanted to do this shit, you know. So now, like Deku's like pummeling Bakugo, which it ain't even fair. Like Deku is beating into Bakugo about 8 years worth of bullying, which I think I got my math right? If Deku is 4, their friend is 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, no, 9, 10, 11. Deku should be around freaking, Deku should be like 18 by now because I make UA a college. By the way, I gotta explain this to some people because some people don't understand. I know UA is a high school, I know. But for story purposes and because I feel like it makes more sense, I just make UA a college. It doesn't really affect the story, and if it ever does, I'll just change UA back to a high school. It's that simple, alright? I do it like Raven. Alright, Raven always makes UA a college, alright? Unless said otherwise. He does have like sometimes where like there's a high school program for UA, but like other than that, I believe that UA should have been a college, and that would make a lot more sense. Because why are you training like 16, 15-year-olds to be superheroes when they can't even manage their fucking, you know, hormones, right? But, you know, God, I love water. So, you know, Deku's pummeling Bakugo, and then Deku just gets tired of it, so he just kicks Bakugo out of the ring. All Might, he's like, how did he beat Bakugo when Bakugo has one for all, strongest quirk, and yada yada yada. He isn't like amazing, like all my quirks is amazing and I am just amazing and yada yada yada. Like he isn't like that like mentality, but he does still hold one for all to a higher standard than other quirks. Which, I mean, it's a fair point, it's one for all. But you know, he basically is like, maybe young Midoriya would have been a better choice as a successor. Like, that's kind of what he's thinking, but he's like, I can't really do that now because, for one, he isn't sure about if Bakugo would keep the secret of One For All if, like, fucking All Might was like, I want to take it and then give it to someone else, right? So, like, he's like, even if I took it right now, I don't know if Bakugo would keep it a secret, which would cause more issues than it's worth. And then also, Bakugo has a lot of, you know, power behind him. He just needs, you know, to learn and stuff like that. So he still, you know, believes in Bakugo, but, you know, he knows that Deku probably could have been a better candidate. But, you know, Deku would have probably, actually, Deku would have probably took it just to spite his dad and All Might, because his dad wants to get, you know, One For All back, because technically it was his. And then, you know, All For One, or All Might wants to defeat All For One and giving the one quirk that is able to stop him to, you know, his son, kinda. Alright, I finished my water. Don't be mad at me. Actually, do be mad at me. It's funny. But, yeah. But after that, Deku, he's like, yeah, I win. So, like, give me my medal. Deku gets his medal, stuff like that. All Might's like, you did great work out there, yada yada. He's about to give Deku his whole spiel. Deku's like, yeah, just save it. Alright, have a good day, All Might. See you at class later. You know, he's like, peace. You know, he leaves. He runs out. You know, Inko's like, oh, my baby boy, yada yada yada. She's crying. All For One's like, good work out there, you know, son, you really showed him what for, stuff like that, you know, that stuff. Endeavor's watching, he's like, oh, I'll talk to Shoto about this, you know, which he is happy that his son got to use the fire, you know. He also is mad because his son lost. But, you know, Deku, he's just like, yeah, thanks, I appreciate it, you know. He's like, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but, you know, it wasn't that crazy. It was an easy win. honestly, it wasn't really fair. Everyone's like, no, you must, congratulate yourself on a good win out there, my boy. Deku's like, yeah, well, I'll go check on some friends, He runs off, and then, Inko's like, I'm worried he's always going to his friends. He never spends time with us, and, everyone, he's like, oh, Inko, kids, they grow up, they want to hang out with their friends. Basically, if they're talking, she's like, oh, it's fine, are you going to be able to spend the day with me? Which, All For One is kind of pushing himself, but, he's like, yeah, of course I'll spend the day with you, sweetie. He stays with her, they spend, a nice night together. But, they spend a nice little time together, they're happy. Deku, he doesn't know anything or anything like that, because he was just spending that same kind of nice night with Tomura, because, or, I guess, would I say Tomura? Yeah, no, I'm just gonna say Shiggy. Shiggy had a little victory present, I guess you could say. Yeah, but he got a victory present, which, it was a present for both. But, yeah. Anywho, he goes back to school. Aizawa tells him about, the little training camp and stuff like that. And Deku's like, damn, alright, well, I better get ready for the training camp and stuff like that. So he's gonna get ready for that. And I will see you all in the next part, alright? I'm gonna try to get to my older what ifs, alright? Comment below. Alright, listen. For one, I'm gonna need y'all to subscribe, because, there's a lot of y'all, and I mean a lot of y'all, who aren't subscribed. Alright, I'm trying to get to 10K. Please. Because, how do I get a video, my Black Panther video, it's about almost at 100K right now, and you tell me you can't even give me 10K subs? Come on. Alright, so what I'm asking is, please subscribe, alright? I know it's sellout moments, but yeah, please subscribe, comment, YouTube algorithm loves that shit, just, yeah, do that stuff. What I want to do next, I want to do Overhaul next. What if Deku had Overhaul next? Because, a lot of y'all love that, which, honestly, I miss that series so much. I should really get back to it. Tell me another series that I should probably bring back and do. And yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please leave the like, comment down below, and also subscribe. And there's a bell. Yeah, that little bell. Alright, I'm gonna shut up now. Yeah. Alright, later.